I'm Jason Klamm, and this is the Comedy on Vinyl podcast. The year is 1974. The album is Holes and Mello Rolls. Our artist, Gabe Kaplan. My guest, Jimmy Pardo. Jimmy, thank you for inviting me here.
Well, thank you for inviting me on your show.
On your show, but you invited me to record it here.
At the Never Not Funny Studios.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But that's because you have an animal, right? Isn't that the case?
I have two animals that would probably kill you if you're... Right? You've got very bad...
Deathly allergic.
Yeah,
what do you have, a dog and cat?
Two cats. Two cats, yeah.
But I would love them.
No, they're adorable, but I understand that they would kill you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Sadly.
So you gave me a number of options, and then I told you we should do Andrew Dice Clay, and you said, nope, too long, even though that was one of your options.
It was not only was it one of my options, it was my first choice. And then I realized, I don't know if I want to listen to The Day the Laughter Died for 3 hours.
Okay, no, I got that, yeah.
Have you ever heard that?
3 hour? No, I haven't. I have trouble with Andrew Dice Clay.
What's your trouble?
My trouble is differentiating, and this is a childish thing, but like I grew up not understanding the difference between character and performer, as a little kid. And then my parents were like, oh, that's garbage, don't listen to that. So eventually it became this thing in the back of your head where you're like, don't listen to this shit. And then Matt Knutson did one of his albums on the show, and we listened to it. I was like, all right. And I was like, at the end, I'm like, why recommend this? He's like, I don't know that I would. And I'm like, yeah, I appreciate that, because it's a bit much.
Is it the black and white, just Dice, that one, the black and white cover?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Does the rhymes and...
Is this something different then? The one that you picked?
This is one where...
Originally?
I want to say it was a 2 or 3 cassette set when I bought it.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know what it is. As much, like, we almost should have done it so that I could have researched it to figure it out.
Sure.
I wonder if it was him going up at the Comedy Store and working out material for his new album. And... He's bombing. Like, he's bombing.
Oh, okay.
And he put it out.
All right.
And it's him working stuff out. Like, he does a bit about Jehovah. That sounds more like Dennis Miller than it did.
Yeah, but I got it.
And there's a lot of funny on there. Yeah. And there's a lot of... You got to appreciate a guy putting out an album of him just bombing and walking people. And people yelling, do the poems, whatever they're called, the nursery rhymes, and him going, "Fuck you, I'm not getting," getting mad at them for wanting to hear it. So in that regard, it's interesting, but I just wasn't in the mood to listen to it. But to go back about Dice, I first saw Dice. My buddy saw him at the Comedy Store in the mid 80s. Came back to Chicago and said, there's a guy like this dirty Fonzie, and it's hysterical.
That's perfect.
And then I saw him on the Young Comedian special, and was like, yeah, this is funny. What a ridiculous character.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
Then we saw him live at a place called George's. It was a jazz club where I happened to see Gopher Godfrey a couple times, Dennis Miller a couple times, Harry Shearer, who I know you just had on. And... they would have comedy at this jazz club.
Okay.
It was right before the boom was happening. And Dice was one of them. And it was like, this is great. Like, we're in on this. We're kind of in on this character. And then all of a sudden, to speak to what you said, I don't think it was a character anymore. Like, I think he started believing the Dice Man. And started living the Dice Man. And then I literally went from like, this is really funny to, nope.
Yeah.
Not for me. But I was on the road so much, I would buy any comedian cassette to kill the time traveling from gig to gig. And when I saw The Day the Laughter Died, I might have that wrong, even the name. I think it's
I think that was right. Yeah.
I did find it fascinating. But yet I was not willing to revisit it for your experimental podcast. And then what were my other choices?
Your other choices were this one, and then. What the hell did you say?
There was a Jackie Mason.
There was a Jackie Mason one, which I actually would have been down for and probably should have picked because I've got a bunch of his albums, but I've listened to 0 of them.
Oh,
this is a problem with my collection is that it's massive, but I haven't heard most of them.
Well, I thought the whole premise of you is that you listen to comedy on vinyl.
You said this last time, Jim. I do, but I just called you Jim. I'm sorry, we're not that familiar.
I'm comfortable. I'm okay with it.
Okay. Jimbo, what I'm trying to say is that not so much. No, there was Jackie Mason, Dice, Gabe Kaplan, and Best of Comic Relief. Actually, that would have been fun, too. So,
Well, I'll come back on, provided you don't want to murder me at the end of this one. I like the Best of Comic Relief. Well, we'll talk about it at length maybe one day, because it's neat to hear those people. Again, it's 1986, I would say.
Yeah.
And then Jackie Mason, remember that was his comeback, the one that I was suggested, The World According to Me, is that what it's called?
Yes.
That was when we all liked Jackie Mason again.
Yeah.
And I saw him at a concert venue, like a huge outdoor arena, like the night before Neil Diamond was playing.
Wow.
And then
that's some shit I'm never going to get to see. Unless I want to go see Dane Cook. And this is not me shitting on
or
Dane
Amy
Cook.
Schumer.
You know what I mean? Or true, Amy Schumer. That's true. I guess I could go see Amy Schumer. Never mind. I'm an ass. You're right.
She's doing the Forum, I think, even as we record this.
Really?
Uh-huh. The Forum.
The Forum.
Where I saw Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Wow.
The comedian's going to be there now.
Yeah.
I think that's insane.
Yeah, it is insane. Yeah, because, I mean, in recent... yeah. All right. I have to go see Amy Schumer now, although there's no way I could afford it. No?
Certainly see Amy Schumer.
Okay.
I'm saying no to the venue. I don't. Personally, and Dice certainly suffered from this, as did Steve Martin and any of them. That comedy's not supposed to be in a shed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I got
in my opinion, it's supposed to be for 200 people, right?
So when you yes. We're gonna get to Gabe Kaplan in a minute, but
yes.
So when in your head you're shooting down this idea of giving a fuck about Dice is just because he's repulsive, or was there kind of part of your comedy brain that's like, oh well, that kind of shits on everything he just did that I enjoy?
I think it was when I. And by the way, I've since come back around on him a little bit. Of like, I thought his version of Curb Your Enthusiasm was kind of funny with Natasha Leggero playing his wife and that thing, and I've always had even when he was on The Apprentice, where he calls Donald Trump Donnie, and everybody gets mad at him. I don't like a record and horrible producing where they it was basically like an 80s movie where the needle stops on the record.
Fuck.
He goes, well, let me tell you something, Donnie, and whoa!
Oh my Christ!
Now that we know who Donald Trump is,
sure.
He probably did not. He truly was not happy with that.
Sure.
But I've always had a soft spot for Dice because I don't know why. Because he had it all, and he appealed to the dumbest of people. like when he played the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago, and you're there, and I was afraid for my life. You know, it was just a room full of dumb.
Yeah.
And and then he catered to that, but yet. I somehow was like, oh, but he's better than that.
Yeah.
At least I thought he was because I liked him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it ever was that he was shitting on comedic stuff. I don't know. I think I just kind of, maybe I didn't like his audience. I don't know.
No, I get that.
And he also started sucking. Let's keep that in mind.
Right. No, that's fine. And people are going to go. Is it? Man, that's difficult, is when you start to have to adapt to an audience that is laughing for the wrong fucking reasons.
Right.
You don't have to adapt to that. And I mean, you've got the bonus of this platform as a podcast to be like, oh, by the way, most of the shit I say is ironic. I have no hate in my heart, by the way. You know,
course.
So you have that bonus that he doesn't have. So I don't know. I wonder if he gets sucked into his own bullshit because he just couldn't explain himself.
Well, how do you know? Like, if you're doing 25,000 seat arenas,
yeah,
and they're chanting your name, and,
sure.
And by the way, and it speaks to Amy Schumer. Like, someone will argue, like, why is Amy Schumer doing it? How do you not do it?
Yeah.
If they offer it and you get to go and do a show at the Forum and make as much money in one show that you've made, maybe your entire comedy career.
Yeah, that's a good point. God damn.
Yeah.
Huh.
That said, I wouldn't do it. I would do a series of shows at a smaller venue. I don't know why Bad Groucho showed up. I don't know, in a smaller venue.
That's the first thing I want to talk about in Gabe Kaplan. Gabe Kaplan is like the master of, or at least very fond of, shoehorning every impression he can do into an album. And that's kind of charming. It's a pretty charming album. I mean,
what
there
a great way to put it.
You know, I mean, that's the best because, like, it's some of it's very middle of the road. Although at the same time, he's like using some language that I guess is like newly. Hey, we can say this on an album now.
I was surprised. That's
74.
what stood out. 1974. I loved how relaxed he was.
Yeah.
And he's getting laughs. It's not like when you hear some albums from that generation and that era where they're relaxed, but they're kind of just getting like, you can almost hear the glassware. He's getting nice-sized laughs. He's doing well. And he's talking about his life. And yes, but then he's using language that I couldn't believe. Like like, why is Mr. Kotter saying fucking? Like, that was
yeah.
What?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
And then when he does probably my favorite bit on it, which is the drunk Ed Sullivan, and I think and I don't know why that's my favorite part.
I don't disagree. In fact, I want to hear which line you thought was interesting, because I quoted it yesterday at dinner.
You come in here tonight and give a monkey an enema. So let's hear over here. Well, you youngsters are going to like this. And your National Wildlife Association reminds you that a regular monkey is a happy monkey, right? Bring in your monkey, zookeeper, and sock it to him. Where's your monkey? He doesn't want to do it? Oh, why don't you bring Kate Smith in here? Come on, Kate, we got a surprise for you. We're going to bring your moon over the mountain. She doesn't want to do it either. Where's Topo Gigio? Little faggot mouse.
Well, the one that just stood out the most is only because he's talking about an enema and calls Topo Gigio the little faggot mouse.
The little faggot. And he says that word.
It's like, holy crap.
And by the way, funny.
Yeah, no, it is very funny.
Like, he says it, and it's like at a time where, of course, it was accepted to say that. Shouldn't have been, but it was.
Right.
A word we don't say today. But in that regard, when it's drunk Ed Sullivan talking about this mouse, that word is the perfect word for that joke.
Well, yeah, I mean, he opens it up as a Jewish man. He opens it up.
Right.
With, we got a Jew comic. We'll give you some Jew jokes, I think he says, which I think is very funny, and I don't know why. What's the other one that he says? He either says Negro or colored.
He says Negro.
He does say Negro.
And he's going to come out, James Brown's going to do some of that soul for you.
Yeah.
I thought it was, like, to that regard, like, I had not heard this album in, when did I buy it? Maybe 88 or 89. And I still have that copy. That's the copy I have still. Two things that are interesting, other than me dying currently, is I had the exact same joke as him that I had to drop from my open mic days about being adopted. And I don't know if I was adopted, so I went to my dad, Lim Chung or whatever. I picked some other Asian name.
Yeah.
And it was like, I thought, what a genius joke. And then, which is pretty good that a guy recorded it in 74 and dummy me, that maybe I heard it on the Tonight Show or something. And, but I remember I had to drop that joke when I first heard this album. It was kind of at a time where I probably only had 9 minutes. And I was like, oh no.
Was it also your opener?
It was not my opener.
Okay,
it was kind of just in there. And then, what the hell was my point? How edgy he was. Like, because, again, it's Mr. Kotter to me.
Yeah.
The school teacher who is telling horrible uncle jokes at the end. And here he is using this language that we just spoke of, and drunk Ed Sullivan. I would like to see Ed Sullivan where he doesn't give a shit anymore. Like, what? That's a pretty decent premise.
Yeah. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Was it? Good God, am I? And now, I'm just gonna have a brain fart about. Were you not talking about this show on your podcast a couple weeks ago? It must have been some other podcast, but I can't remember.
Somebody was talking about what?
Welcome Back, Kotter.
We always talk about it.
Okay, all right. So
Animals Kotter comes up every.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that Horseshack came from a character in his stand-up either. I had zero idea that this was all so much drawn from his.
Which is, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he the first? Not Bob, because I don't think Newhart's sitcom was based on his stand-up.
Not really.
Whereas this was, I think Gabe was the first guy to get a sitcom and let's adapt your stand-up into a sitcom.
Yeah, it must be. I know we're going to get proven wrong by somebody.
Sure,
online,
of course.
But that's the first one, the earliest I can think of, because all Bob Newhart had was, I have a phone call at the beginning of most of my episodes, and that was it.
Right.
It's the only tie-in.
And what about Sanford and Son? I mean, Red Fox wasn't talking about being a garbage man.
No, and that was based off an English show anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
So there you go, yeah.
Right. So I'm wondering if this was the first, and I probably should have done a little Wikipedia on this, but it's fascinating to think that that was the guy, I guess Freddie Prinze a little bit maybe, but that Gabe was the guy that, they didn't, Carlin, it wasn't Carlin, it wasn't this guy, it wasn't the guy, because he was talking of his life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I mean, it had because the thing I first suggested, which I surprised you shot down, was Robert Klein.
Robert Klein.
Yeah.
Only because, here's why. Can I tell you why I shot that down?
Yeah.
Your episode with Paul Provenza is my favorite episode of your show. And I've done an episode.
So long ago. I'm just okay, that's fine. Jimmy doesn't listen to the show. That's okay.
No. I said it's my favorite episode of your show. It doesn't mean I stopped there.
I'm the biggest dick. Yeah.
I don't think I can be as articulate, and I won't.
He
be
was
about Gabe Kaplan.
incredibly articulate about it.
And so it's like he nailed Klein in a way that I wouldn't be able to in any way. And I didn't want to have, hey, the Provenza talked about it like this, and Jimmy just went, funny jokes. So I didn't want to be that. Instead, I'll do that about Gabe Kaplan.
It's okay. You're always going to sound smarter than me on this show. It's okay. That's all that really matters. Wait, why did you... Oh, wait. So you picked this up late 80s. So just out of familiarity with Kotter?
In fact, I remember I bought it at Hegwish Records. I was just, going out and buying, comedy vinyl. I think I had just maybe started doing open mics or...
Okay.
Prior to that, I probably, I know I had Steve Martin's albums, and I know I had some Rodney's No Respect,
sure.
and Carlin's A Place for Our Stuff. Is that 84 maybe?
Yeah, it's about there, yeah.
So I had that. I had some of those. I had the Comic Relief, which I still have from 86. I have a 30-year-old long play, a comedy album that... I don't know why. I used to work in the record business, so I had thousands of albums.
Sure.
How Comic Relief 86 is still in my collection is beyond me. How did that make the cut? when I was declaring bankruptcy and needed every cent I had to pay rent. Why did that? Nope, gotta hang on to that guy. And same with Kaplan, though. Why did Gabe Kaplan make this cut all these years?
Yeah.
Of almost 30 years of owning this thing.
Especially if you, again, hadn't listened to it in so long.
I don't, why did it keep... No, I opened for Gabe 10 years ago?
Really?
No, it's got to be... Let's see, I've lived here... I was still doing sets at the Ice House. It has to be 17 years ago, maybe?
Really?
At the Ice House in Pasadena.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he was a very nice man, and he did well. People were excited that it was Mr. Kotter.
Sure.
But he had not been doing it, because he went on to be this professional gambler.
Oh, yeah.
But it was back at the Ice House, and he and... it was fine. And he was a very nice man and talking in the green room, which I don't remember any of the conversation. Remember him being very pleasant and very kind. And I've since his daughter ended up working at the Tonight Show.
Okay.
When I was there at Conan's Tonight Show. And she's on Twitter and very, very funny. And so I've seen him over the years, but yes, I hadn't listened to this in 30 years.
Yeah.
Or 20 years, so whatever it would be, 20.
Do you want to do the exact math? Do you, sorry.
Dare you.
What was your first impression re-listening to it, though? Was it immediate laughs, or was it just bring... Really? Okay.
What's the first bit after the Hung Chow?
I think he immediately starts talking about school and Horseshack. I think it's like the
I think he does
thing.
go to the Horseshack.
Up your hole with a Mello roll, whatever the voice is that he does, yeah.
What does he say? He said something early on in that bit about Horseshack or about going to the school, or the thing about the how they put you by rank.
Yes.
The fives, the fours, the fives were basically, basically second. I was basically last because fives are criminals.
Yeah.
I actually remember I was listening to my car and just going, "That's a good joke." Yeah. Oh, that's a good joke. Because I think Gabe Kaplan to me is a guy that we kind of just almost like Tom Dreesen in a way. We know him, but you go. Not for Dreesen opens up for Sinatra. He's obviously from my grandmother, and Gabe Kaplan had a sitcom in the '70s, so he's obviously from my parents or maybe my grandparents. He's not for me.
Yep.
And so I was like, well, that's a good joke. And so we almost excused him as like this, not really a comic, more of a personality.
I had the same thought when I was listening to it.
And it's like, no, these are good jokes.
Yeah.
And well crafted. Yes.
Which was why I kind of like when I rediscover something like this is like I feel like I'm being horribly unfair to this person. I get so guilty, It's like, oh fuck. Well, I mean, I've invited him onto the podcast to be fair because I'm like, before I'd even listen to the album.
And now, you have invited Gabe.
I have invited him, and now I want him on even more because it was worth listening to. Which sounds like that's like the lowest compliment sounding in the world.
No,
but you know what I mean?
No, I know exactly, and that's kind of what I was trying to say too. It's like this is a good comedy album, and it's. He's not just that sitcom guy doing the corny uncle jokes at the end.
Yeah.
He was a legit stand-up comedian. And again, I don't think anybody gave any certainly in my generation, nobody went, well, it's Klein, it's this guy, it's Kaplan. Like you never, even though Kaplan was huge.
Sure.
It's crazy that you're right. Like, this is worth listening to is a weird way to put it, but accurate.
Well, I mean, and it could also be that, I mean, this happens all the time. If you're, I don't know Kevin James's comedy, but this is a guy who became a fucking billionaire because of TV and doesn't, I don't know if he still, I'm so sorry, Kevin James. I don't know if he still does comedy. I know you like Paul Blart too, so maybe you know him better than I do.
I don't know if he, you assume just because I like Paul Blart too that I know him?
Yep. That you know something about him. No, but I mean, like, he doesn't need to do comedy anymore, and I wonder if that was the situation for Gabe Kaplan.
I think it was.
You know, it's like, fuck it. 5 years of the most successful television show. Hi, I launched John Travolta's career.
Right.
You know. And
I think there was some bitterness there after.
Yeah.
Because John had become so huge.
Sure.
And again, this is me reading People magazine.
Yeah.
It's not like, again, he was into the green room going, I was bitter. That's got to be the worst Gabe Kaplan impression ever. I'm just judging by what I read on People. But I think, but how do you not? Like, it's your show, and then here's one of the sweat hogs. Do you remember the episode of Welcome Back, Kotter where he then does stand up and the sweat hogs go to watch him do it? And his whole act is basically what this album is.
Really? Okay.
It's him talking about his, but from the, I have these students. I got this one guy on a horse shack and he talks like, and he's doing it and the sweat hogs get mad at him because it's like, oh, so we're just props to you. We're just, it's a pretty neat episode.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Because it kind of is his life. Like, these are the kids he grew up with and I wonder if he ever met them. It's like, hey, dude.
Yeah.
How about you not use my real name?
That's what I was wondering too. I'm like, Horseshack is it's a great sounding name, and it does seem like legit that's the guy's name, and he just didn't think anything of it.
Here's our new student from Philadelphia. Nobody pays much attention to him, except Horseshack, who goes up to him in the schoolyard and thinks he could take advantage of him because he's a new kid. He goes, "Hi, you're from Philadelphia, huh? I'm Wild Horseshack. Up your hallway at Mello. Kid doesn't flinch. Says, up your ass with Mobile gas. Then he tips his hat and says, happy motoring. Horseshack thinks for a minute and fires back, oh yeah, well up your hole with a Mello. And then the kid does something we've never seen before in all the history of ranking. He does his next rank in an impression. Does Groucho Marx. Ranking. Oh, yeah? Well, love you, bud, or to say goodbye. And a say goodbye is cucumber. By the way, I heard your mother's like the Pennsylvania Railroad. She's been laid all over the country.
But now to that end,
Is that the magic of his acting?
knowing show business as I do, I wonder if it's not a real name because there's no way they would name a sitcom.
Right.
Is there?
Well, I don't know. You know, this is 74. Same year Blazing Saddles comes out. Supposedly, according to Mel Brooks, Hedy Lamar sued them over the Hedley Lamar joke. Supposedly. This is what he says. I love Mel Brooks, but I know all of his stories are bullshit, or at least half bullshit. I love him to death, but I know that like it's hard to take. You have to take everything with a grain of salt.
Did you just hear his great? We just went to see Young Frankenstein at the theater.
Oh, yeah.
And Mel did a live introduction to it.
Okay.
On the screen.
That's awesome.
It was live on the Sony lot, but it was not live. Sony lot.
Okay.
Right? Is that where they shoot Modern Family?
I have no idea. I'm never on a set, Jimmy.
I apologize. I thought you were in show business. Thank you for your time. But he told a story about Marty Feldman, so I wonder if this is one of the ones that you know. He goes, the best part about Marty Feldman is he had two eyes. He was like a shark. They would both look in opposite directions. So if you ever want to play hide and seek, he would just hide right in front of his nose. He would never see it. So he tells that story as he's walking through the lot, and he's pointing out where Young Frankenstein was shot.
Okay.
And then they go into the whatever the name of the theater was, where there's 100 people waiting to watch Young Frankenstein, but they've just watched him doing this because it's streaming live, and then he tells the same story to the audience that just saw him do it, and it was a little like not sad because it's like oh, he just has the one story.
Yeah. Right.
But he's great.
Oh yeah, of course he is. He's a fucking god.
And he's great. And you've asked him to do the show, I would imagine.
A million times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's one of those. I don't want to keep harassing him about it. You know.
I do know. Did I know this is off Gabe Kaplan. Did I ever tell you the story about when he was on Conan? And did I ever?
Did you ever tell me?
On your show, did I tell you this, Jason?
Well, and I haven't heard it on your podcast, to be fair.
So Mel Brooks was on. I think it was his first time
Okay.
on Conan, and he was coming on to promote. I forget what it was, and he was great. It was when he took out when he went on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
He took a chair and put it on the other side of Conan's desk and said, I don't like you talking that direction. All you guys talk this direction. I want you to do it over here. And it was great. It was hysterical. Mm-hmm. So, but before he went out on stage, I was like, there's only been a handful of people. Like, I say to the producers, I have to meet them.
Of course.
It was Tom Hanks and Carl Reiner and a handful of others. And one, of course, was Mel Brooks. So Dick Van Dyke.
Sure.
So when Mel was there, it's like I have to. I don't care if I'm a fanboy. I don't care what I do. If I cannot be, plasterboard away from Mel Brooks and not be able to say hello to him.
Absolutely.
So the producer goes in. Hey, the warm-up comic wants to say hello, and I hear him. Of course, he's so I come in and goes, "Who are you?" And I go, "Jimmy Pardo." Jimmy Pardo, tell me about what you do out there. And he couldn't be nicer.
Awesome.
Couldn't be it was like this is everything I wanted. Like this is sometimes you meet somebody and it doesn't go well.
Of course.
This was I walked out and then it dawned on me, hey dummy, you have a mutual friend of Mel Brooks, Lee Delano.
Okay.
Who now pronounces his name Lee Delano for reasons I don't understand, but we always know him. He's a family friend. He was at my wedding. Mm-hmm. Lee Delano was a character actor who, when Show of Shows went on tour, did all the Carl Reiner stuff.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing.
So he would work with Sid, and he worked with Sid Caesar and Imogene Coca and all these that group of guys.
Yeah.
Lee was part of that group,
Jesus
including
Christ,
Mel.
That's mind-blowing.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I forgot to bring up Lee. And so it's like, oh, do I bring him back up? What do I do? So he does the bit. He comes off stage, and he's in his dressing room, and he's walking past. And I had a Young Frankenstein DVD cover, and I had asked the producer, can you please have this signed? And Mel signed it to Jimmy Pardo, best Mel Brooks. And it was very nice. And so he's walking past me. He's on his way out. He's being escorted out. And he goes, did you get the DVD? Did you get the cover? And I said, I did. I go, as a matter of fact, I forgot to mention this earlier. We're family friends. In fact, he was at my wedding with Lee Delano. And he goes, Lee Delano! I loved you, Lee Delano! And as a matter of fact, and he comes over and he grabs me by the forearm. And he goes, I just saw Lee. This one, Sid Caesar was still alive. But he was dying.
Sure.
He goes, I just saw Lee yesterday. We were over at Sid's. I see him once a week. We all go to Sid's. We all sit around. We tell the same stupid stories. But it makes Sid happy. And we repeat the same stuff. And he goes, I'll see him Sunday. I'm going to tell him I saw Jimmy Pardo. Jimmy, thank you for bringing up Lee. Couldn't have been nicer.
That's fucking
And
awesome.
then he goes, so nice to meet you, young man. And then he walks away and he goes, all right, let's get out of here. Pardo! And he yells my name in the green room.
Holy fuck.
And everybody is watching the Conan on the television.
Yeah.
And everybody looks up why? Who's yelling it? And they see Mel Brooks is circling his hand above his head like a helicopter.
Oh my God.
Yelling Pardo. And then he walks out and everybody comes running over to me and goes, was Mel Brooks just doing a bit with you? I go, yes, Mel Brooks was just doing a bit with me.
Oh,
it was the greatest.
God.
It was the greatest.
Woof.
So here, another side. This is not Gabe Kaplan, but here
Yeah.
I tell Lee Delano that. And he goes, let me tell you something about Mel Brooks. He goes, he's the greatest guy in the world. I'm over on the Paramount lot one day. I think it was Paramount. And I'm doing Charlie's Angels. I'm doing an episode of Charlie's Angels. And I'm playing a heavy. And I'm walking around and I'm at lunch break and I'm walking on the lot. And who would I run into? But Mel. And he goes, Lee, what are you doing here? He goes, why are you dressed like a gangster? He goes, I'm doing the Charlie's Angels, and I'm one of the heavies. And Mel's like, oh, that's great. What stage are you on? He goes, oh, I'm right over there, stage 17. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, why do you want to know that? He goes, I'm making conversation with you, Lee. I was like, oh, okay. So hours go by. Lee's in the middle of a scene. He's on the set of Charlie's Angels. They're doing a scene. The stage door opens up. Where's Lee Delano? I must see Lee Delano. I must have him for my next picture. And everybody's like, cut. And everybody's like, who the hell? And then Mel Brooks walks out, and everybody's like, it's Mel Brooks.
Oh, fuck.
Like, that's, to me,
Yeah.
that's friendship, and that's fun. And it's like, if that story to me is like, that shows you how fun Mel Brooks is as a human being. And that little side version of mine of him yelling Pardo and leaving. It's like he's just he's a comedian with funny in his bones. And I that Lee Delano story of him bursting out of Charlie's Angels is like, I wish it's almost like Carson going over to yell at Don Rickles for breaking the box. Classic thing. Like interrupting that. Like there should be more of that. And it just shows camaraderie in what this town should be.
I agree.
Yeah.
Jimmy, you're so nice.
I got amped up.
I know you did. This is why I like having you on the show, Jimmy. You're a very nice guy.
I try to be.
And you're very fun.
Do the best I can.
You get us off track an awful lot, though, so I feel like we should...
No, you can't spin it back the other way. You said I was in a green room with Gabe Kaplan.
Sorry.
I don't have a bit.
Here's the problem. I associate your voice with a certain tone, and now I'm doing to you what I feel like you do poorly, what you do to your guests, and I apologize.
You're not wrong about it.
I'm adapting. You know what I understand? And it's a bad adaptation. You should not do that. You know what I mean?
I do.
David Frost was very good with Nixon. He didn't turn into Nixon when Nixon's. I'm now comparing you to Richard Nixon.
Yeah, who am I?
That was an accident. Gabe Kaplan.
Yes.
I've got no segue whatsoever.
Well, we should just go back into your show then, as opposed to my two of my 4 anecdotes I have in show business.
But there's so many. I mean, the thing is, I could have gone on as well because Mel Brooks is my fucking hero.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm told somebody who works for him was at our show the other night.
Wait, what?
Yeah, at our Young Frankenstein show. So now that's the only reason I'm keeping these mutton chops. By the way,
just
on the
in
off
case,
chance, like, hey, command performance from Mel Brooks. Fuck yes, absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
There's a Polish joke in this album. What do you think of that, Jimmy?
But he's doing it in character, is he not?
Yes, he does actually. Yep, he does it absolutely. That's what I think. That's one of the reasons all this shit works. Like, I don't think there's anything in here that's like I'm a dick and here's a funny joke about Polish folks. He's all character.
It's one of those things. I'm going to ask you. I want your opinion on this.
Yes.
I'm always torn. Like I even do a joke in my act about something my son said, and it gets a big laugh. But it's not my joke.
Sure.
Like so, I'm just sharing a story with the audience of a joke my son said. I'm just relaying it on stage and taking the credit for it.
Right.
So when I'm listening to Gabe and he's telling these true stories and here's something funny that the Freddie or the Ferdy, whatever it was, basically the Boom Boom Washington character.
Yeah.
And then Freddie would say this, and then he says what Freddie would say, and big laugh.
Big laugh.
Okay, now did Freddie really say that?
Sure.
Or is he taking artistic
license?
Thank you. And reworking it to make it get a laugh.
Sure.
So I was in my head thinking about that. Like,
me too.
Well, again, how do the other people feel about him getting laughs with his joke? Because some of them are flat out jokes
for sure.
And then Freddie would make this joke, repeat, laugh, applause break, and then.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard. Is at some point it becomes this borderline documentary, and also if they're not going to go do stand up with it, I say you can take it as long as it's. I mean, you're giving credit to your son. I mean, I do give him credit. It'd be really sad if in 25 years he was like, "Here's a great joke I told when I was 8."
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
I feel like it should be yours. You own it.
I'm also the breadwinner of the family.
Exactly what I'm saying.
When he starts bringing in a couple of bucks, then I'll give him his joke back.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about how heavily character oriented it is. Even though he's telling us every story he tells, though, he's like obviously big on voices. Right. I mean, which I alluded to earlier, but like he busts out like within a matter of 10 minutes. There's Groucho, there's Durante, Alfred Hitchcock of all fucking people. Yes. There's some other one. I mean, there's a whole
the Hitchcock. And by the way, I like this album. I was impressed by it. The Hitchcock was the one that really seemed shoehorned in. Didn't it? Like that was the one. Like really, somebody on the playground
was doing an Alfred Hitchcock
in a Yo Mama basically roast battle. Brought out a Hitchcock.
Yeah. I also, do you get proud of yourself if you predict a joke, or do you feel bad for the comedian? Because there's one that I predicted, but I liked it because it still fulfilled it.
You know what it is? If it's somebody who's good, I'm proud of myself. If it's an open micer and you basically hear the horn of the truck coming, then I kind of like, oh, dude.
Right.
It's weird how I unfairly will give the
Well, when I busted out the notes, the first word that obviously stood out was masturbation. But he does a masturbation joke about Sir Edmund Hillary, who climbed Mount Everest. It's a solid. I'm like
masturbation. A lot of people are turned off by masturbation. Jokes, particularly. They don't want to hear about that. Why? some of the greatest people in the world. Example, Sir Edmund Hillary. Sir Edmund Hillary was the first man to climb Mount Everest. But when Sir Edmund was a precocious 11, his mother came in the room, caught him in the act. She couldn't believe it. She said, Sir Edmund, why are you doing that? And he said, because it was there.
Because it was there. Because it was there. You're going to have to do it, right? And he does it. I'm like, yep, thank you. Like, I don't know. And again, it made me feel pleased with myself because I'm an asshole. But it also is a solid joke. And I just hit your microphone. Luckily, it's not plugged in.
It is, but it's probably not on.
Okay.
I also thought the masturbation stuff for 1974, and again, through the eyes of thinking he is the sitcom star,
Yeah.
it was like, wow, that's pretty out there.
Yeah.
It's pretty racy. But maybe
sure.
it's not. Maybe if I pull every comedy album from 74, they're all talking about beating off. But then he used phrases like beating off or jerk off.
Yeah.
Which I just associate that era maybe with the Klein albums where it's not that kind of language.
Yeah. I remember that really throwing me.
A little bit, right?
Yeah, I was okay with it, but I was like, oh, so I now have to adjust my brain to what 74 was for Gabe Kaplan. I'm obviously rewriting history because I wasn't alive then, but like, there's a little bit of that. I've lost my place in my brain.
What about, all right, so the one part that the one part I thought was really interesting was the, when he's talking about the talking vibrator.
Yes.
And, which again, I find to be, I don't like the phrase pushing the envelope, but it seems to have been something that you could easily see in 1999 or 2007.
Yeah.
And go, yeah, okay, yeah, talking vibrator. Of course, that's some comic trying to be edgy and it laughs. But in 74, it was edgy.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know. I was 7 or however old I was in 74. But I found it very strange that he did the Vegas-y, show-busy thing where he does the talking vibrator and he gets an applause break, but he's already gone into his next bit. And he's like, thank you very much. And then break back, like he thanked them
I missed that.
for the applause break on the talking vibrator bit. And I almost hope that when he walked off stage, he made fun of himself, or the other comics went, really? You thank him for the applause break on the talking dildo? Like, so I hope his balls were busted on it.
Yeah. That's phenomenal. I totally missed that at all. And the other thing too is like, I think your surprise at the content makes sense. Kotter was the next year, a year after this album comes out, which I think, and the copy I have has the Welcome Back Kotter cast on it, so it must have been an immediate re-release.
Oh, it must have been, because mine has it looks like space, black holes, and then Mello rolls.
Okay, all right.
And that's the cover. And the Mello rolls are almost like a spaceship.
Shit, I haven't even seen that copy of it. I haven't seen that cover, but yeah, so they must have immediately, on the success of that show, re-releases.
Yeah. And could you imagine, almost like if Bob Saget would have released that album then?
Yeah.
Like in 75, if you go, oh, hey mom, get me the Gabe
Exactly.
Kaplan album for Christmas, and you're 9, and you're talking about talking vibrators and beating off. That's pretty.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked that wasn't a thing, that didn't throw anybody.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you have a favorite bit on this? Because I don't know.
I did like the Sullivan.
Yeah.
But I think you know what I liked. You know what I didn't like all that much was the opening of side 2, and I hate to say anything negative because
it's fine.
That bit felt flat to me. That bit felt very early comedy. You can get away with this. If you try that now, you would be stared at.
Yeah.
The what was it, commercials? What was the?
It was a commercial for
Changing America
or something. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Yeah. Oh, okay, because it was like fake patriotic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a couple decent jokes in there, but overall, I felt like, oh, this is too long, and somebody should have told him, don't put this on vinyl.
Right. And also, I think Albert Brooks did something similar that was better. No insult to Gabe Kaplan, just better put together.
No, and again, that's weird for me. I'm even uncomfortable saying the only bit that didn't work for me was that, because I did enjoy the rest of it.
Yep.
And like I said, found myself in that annoying way of like pointing at my dashboard and giving him approval. Like, oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one there. Oh, that's good. Well, that's well crafted. Good for you. Like, shut up, you idiot. This guy's had more success than you've ever had. How dare you judge him?
Right.
But I like the Sullivan. And then I did like the way he ends it, where he has the wonderful callback of, I live in fear that I'm going to be waiting, and how long I'm going to be in a long line, and hey, how much longer? Up your hole with a
with the Mello roll.
Mello roll.
Yeah,
I couldn't think of it. What a nice way to like bring it back around 44 minutes later. Get a big laugh. I gotta go.
Yeah. Man, do you
have a favorite?
No, it's the Sullivan thing.
Oh, it is.
And I think it's because it is so heavily character that he can make jokes that because I really enjoy ironic racism, because I'm not a fan of racism. I don't know about you, but not a fan of racism.
I love it.
Okay,
and this country is getting behind the right man. Comedy. That's all said for comedy. What they just said was for comedy.
Yeah, thanks. We don't get funny on this show that often, so thank you for clearing
My
that up.
pleasure.
But yeah, no, I think just because it's so thick with character, and honestly, like he holds the impression the whole time. He doesn't break it.
Right.
Because his Hitchcock was okay. His Durante's is a Durante. His Groucho is good because
he did a one-man
played
show as
Groucho. Yeah, I had to look it up on YouTube.
And it actually was. I remember when it might have been on PBS or something when it first came out.
Okay.
I remember going, "This is great."
Yeah.
And also, again, condescending dick. Good for Gabe Kaplan. Good for him doing something else. Come on, jerk. Again, he's had more success than you'll ever have. You're working at Jokers. But he, I like any good Groucho. So I appreciate that part of it. I thought the masturbation stuff was it was edgy, so I thought it was these are good jokes.
They were really good. I mean, I'm trying to think of the first time. I think Billy Connolly was the first time I ever heard anybody do masturbation material that didn't seem crude or crass. Because this doesn't. It's just pretty frank.
And genuine and real. Frank is basically, to use your word, is probably what I should have just said. Yes, you're right, as opposed to feeling the need to hear my own voice repeating exactly what you just said with different words.
That's okay. That's this show every week, but I'm in your position, so it's good. It's nice to look into a mirror, Jimmy. Thank you so much.
Glad I could help.
But yeah, no. The Ed Sullivan one is my favorite bit, and I feel like 74 maybe around the last year you could do Ed Sullivan and have it still be relevant. Am I wrong? When did he go off the air? 74 seemed late for that still to be relevant, but people loved it. People ate it up because they're his age, so I assume.
I wonder. I remember people doing Ed Sullivan up until
maybe the 80s, huh? Yeah, what am I talking about? I grew up watching Ed Sullivan impressions, so I'm full of shit. I'm full of shit.
So you didn't grow up watching Ed Sullivan.
No.
You grew up
probably exclusively seeing Ed Sullivan impressions now that we talk about it. So not understanding him from a point of okay. So fuck me, I'm wrong.
Well, it's basically my Bob Hope impression is an impression of Dave Thomas doing Bob Hope.
Yeah.
That's what I grew up watching Dave Thomas do impression.
Of course.
And then retroactively, that ain't right. That's not the word I'm looking for. Then went back and then ended up watching Bob Hope.
Yeah.
And thinking, boy, that doesn't sound right. So Sullivan's kind of the same way. We didn't grow up watching that.
That's true.
But we certainly know it. Although we all heard those stories about Elvis and the Beatles. They were all on there. So was Jackie Mason.
Why would you pick Jackie Mason?
Well, the famous Jackie Mason story of he had to follow the Beatles, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, no. But I mean, why would you have picked his album is what I mean.
Oh, why would I?
Because we didn't ask. I didn't ask you that.
Why would I have picked it? Because it was one of the 5 that I had when you said, do you want to come back on? And I wheeled my office chair over to my album collection and went, what albums do I have? I don't want to do Lenny Bruce. I don't want to do Bob Newhart. I was trying to find things that I know that hopefully that you hadn't done.
Yeah.
Although my first choice was the cast album of SNL, which I still have.
It's a good album.
And I wrote that came out in 75. I wrote, speaking of awful words, is I didn't like a cast member. And I wrote gay with an arrow pointing at him on the back of the album cover to his cast photo. Gay, arrow. And I still, I still
have that
the
copy.
cut for 30 years. Still have that copy. In case anybody wants to raid my house and find that and consider me a homophobe. But you've done that You've done that twice, you said.
We have done it twice. We've done so many. There are a couple albums we've done 5 times though, because I try and push people now. But it's in the past, I didn't have the balls to push people to pick something that's in my collection. That was the easier thing. Because then we discover something new. Joseph Scrimshaw did the show, and we did Maury Amsterdam's album. Amsterdam, it was fucking great.
Was it great?
Phenomenal. Is it the best album in the world? No. Is it fun to talk about for an hour? Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
great. And there's some really good stuff on it because Maury Amsterdam was like, what did they call him? The joke machine.
Joke machine.
Yeah.
In fact, Rich Scheidler. Have you had Rich Scheidler on? Mm-mm. Rich has a great new book out. I believe it's called Kicking the Ashes.
Okay.
And it's about him coming up in the '80s comedy boom. He started in the '70s, and he's got a great story in there about Maury Amsterdam, where he and some other young comics went over there to show Maury about what comedy's all about. And then Maury was very gracious and was like, "Well, tell me what kind of bits you're doing, young man." And well, I'm doing this thing. Oh, like Joe Simpson did back in on the Texaco Hour. And then what about you? Oh, like Don John did. You know, like nothing's original was the point of it.
Fucking
Like,
great.
In Maury Amsterdam was this machine, so he knew everybody's bits and.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Good God.
I used to love when obviously the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Sure.
When he would pop up and. Which was every episode, but he would like. I remember like in high school or grade school when that would come on reruns, of course. The other kids would always go, "Yeah, but the jokes are so corny. He's always got corny jokes, and why would they ever put his jokes on the show?" It's like, well, they weren't corny then, and they're not corny. They're not really corny. That's the character,
right?
And he's great.
Yeah.
And I can't even articulate what.
But I know what you're saying, and they're based off of him being a guy who could just off the top of his fucking dome, just. I rewatched the pilot of that show a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Fuck!" There's a whole where they just do a whole vaudeville bit with all three of them.
I love.
Holy Christ!
I used to, and it was my guilty pleasure growing up. Of those were the episodes I loved because I loved like song and dance stuff, and I remember those were the episodes where everybody else was like, "I don't like that one because it's just them performing a Christmas pageant in their house." It's like. I love that one.
Yeah.
They're dancing and they're singing, and then Maury's going to get up and do a little time. Although when Rosemary gets up at one point and claps her hands to go into it, it's like, oh, this is uncomfortable. If somebody did that at a Christmas party, I would leave. But I remember overthinking that, like, but they're all invested. They're all listening to her. They're all actors, you idiot. But yes.
Okay, she's hypnotized now. I'm going to talk to her. How old are you?
12.
What's your name? Regan. I'm addressing myself to the person who's inside of Regan. You are also hypnotized, and when I ask you to speak, you must identify yourself. Who are you? This is Howard Cosell in possession of a small child. Are you in control of Regan? I certainly am. Look at her. She's wearing Fruit of the Loom underwear. Are you in there alone? No, Don Meredith and Frank Gifford are in here with me.
What would your sitcom be, Jimmy? I mean, here's the thing. I always wonder, like, this is such a literal translation of his bits. They're like, hey, we really like the school kid bit. You want to turn that into a TV show? Like... I never understand how that happens. Where did King of Queens come from? I don't know his bits. So why did Kevin James come back? But I'm just curious what Jimmy Pardo's TV show is.
Boy, that's a great question.
What his
sitcom I had a meeting with a producer when I first moved here like some amount of years ago, and it was they were turning everybody into a teacher.
Sure,
that was
sure.
They were like, so what about you? Because you're not the tallest guy, but you've got this little you got the bark, and you're this guy, but deep down you have a heart. Maybe you could be the teacher's like. And I was like, I don't want to. You're doing that with Tom Rhodes, and you're doing it with who was the other kid that he's since passed away, but I forget his name. He was a funny comic. But they made him into a teacher, and then they made girls into teachers, like everything. Joy Behar was a teacher.
Yeah.
And it was like, seriously? Like, in my head, it was like, I have a meeting with a big, huge producer in this town, and that's the idea? Now, keep in mind, dummy, pointing at myself, should have done it.
Sure.
Why? I don't know what... I don't know what pedestal I was on that day where I felt like I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. Your idea. Good day, sir. And I walk out, and then I remember calling my agent and going, did that guy ever call us back? No. And it's like, that seems weird. Why would he be so interested in that? Not interested at all. Moron.
Holy shit.
I don't know, maybe because you crapped on his idea. I should have just done it. I would do it today. Call me again, sir. Call me again. I could be an actor. I could be a teacher better than ever today.
Not any teacher TV shows right now, are there? I don't think so.
I don't think there are.
No.
Because they did 4,000 of them in the 90s.
Head of the Class was one that I remember watching a lot of.
Yeah, that was in my little void of comedy where I wasn't, because I was on the road so much.
Sure.
I didn't see a lot of and it was VCRs, so I was able to record, Friends and Seinfeld, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then come home on Sunday nights and watch those two, and then reset the recorder for the next week.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would be. Like, I grew up. That's always been the problem with Jimmy Pardo's act, is that it's very funny, and it's hard to argue with that. And boy, he's quite a character. But what would the show be? Nobody's figured that out in 20 plus years. So, and I don't think they're wrong. It's like, I don't really talk about my personal life on stage, and I don't talk about, having worked in record stores and doing all that. Or even if I did, nobody wants to make a sitcom about a record store anymore.
Probably not, no. It would be me pitching that, and I'd be shot down immediately.
And certainly the vinyl and roadies killed any prospect of
good call.
that happening. Even though those weren't comedies, they were certainly funny because they were horrible. So I don't know what the answer would be. What would my sitcom be?
It was a weird question. You can just say it was a shitty question,
Nope,
Jason. Let's
it's a
move
fine
on.
question.
I
actually have one idea, but I'm not going to talk about it.
No, I was going to say, like...
What if it happens? What if tomorrow that guy does call me back?
Yeah, right? You're working on stuff. I'm not going to ask you to give up any of that right now. I mean, you could. You could make it exclusive that no one would hear. If you really...
They're going to hear it because I'm going to tweet it out about it.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I've got the greatest fans in the world. They will listen.
That is true. No, that is true. Why recommend this album to anybody? What's a good reason to listen to this album if you've never heard it?
You know what? Just to give Gabe Kaplan the respect that I think he deserves.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm going to circle back and say the same thing about Tom Dreesen. Tom Dreesen is still doing this. And again, for some reason, Tom Dreesen's a punchline, and he shouldn't be. He's a great comic, but again, he's dismissed because of his association with Sinatra. Everybody just thinks he's a cheesy Vegas performer.
Okay.
And I think that Gabe's kind of treated that way too, and shouldn't be. So I would recommend you listen to this for that reason. Give Kaplan the respect he deserves. And if you don't, up your nose with a rubber hose.
I wonder, I also realize we've been taking for granted that my audience knows what Welcome Back, Kotter
Well, that's a
was.
good
You know
point.
what? I'm now realizing...
Well, go right ahead. You explain it while I take a sip.
Okay, it was a show in the 70s. Thank you. Yeah, there you go. That was it. 75 to 79, if I'm not mistaken. Gabe Kaplan is a teacher to a bunch of shithead teenagers, and it's fun. It was a cute show. If I remember correctly, it was good. It might be crap. I don't know.
I don't know if it holds up because I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But it was... I can speak for me. I can speak for Paul Gilmartin. I can speak for my brother. And probably a handful of other guys. It was our favorite show.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't. We had the Welcome Back Kotter T-shirts, the Welcome Back Kotter lunchbox. I mean, it was our favorite show. It was. We laughed. You talked about it the next day. You couldn't wait to. Vinnie Barbarino was a Halloween costume, and Travolta was phenomenal. They all were.
Sure.
Robert Hedges as Epstein was great.
Oh, yeah.
Lawrence Hilton Jacobs as Freddie Washington, and Ron Palillo as Horshack, which is weird to me to think that the two of those guys are dead now.
That is fucked up. Yeah.
It's great. I met Robert Hedges once as a kid.
Really?
He was a very nice man.
That's awesome.
I met him and Lawrence Hilton Jacobs at a World of Wheels, waiting in line to get their autograph and shake their hand.
What is that?
Not a car. It's a car show.
Okay.
But it's the exotic cars, like the. It's not the here's the new models of 17. It's the souped up weirdo cars.
Awesome.
And then they would also bring in celebrity to attract people to come.
Okay.
Hey, you get to meet Dick Van Patten.
Yeah.
And I would go and wait in line while my dad would go look at the cars.
Yeah.
To meet Dick Van Patten.
That's awesome.
And Willie Ames, who I said, what's it like working with Dick Van Dyke? And Willie Ames says, to a kid. And by the way, I say what's it like working with him because I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
And so Willie Ames, to a complete stranger, 8-year-old kid goes, well, you know Dick. He's so off the wall. You don't know what you're going to get. I'm like, oh. And to this, I only remember that to this day because I walked away going, I don't even understand that answer. Like I know. At that age, I didn't know what off the wall means. And why would you say, well, you know Dick? I don't know Dick at all, except for when I met him 45 seconds ago.
That's fantastic.
And he signed my picture. And then they would have the Batmobile, and they would have like the Starsky and Hutch car and that
Of
sort
course,
of thing.
okay.
And so, yeah, Epstein and Washington were at one of them, and they were very, very nice men.
So cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw Washington at a Starbucks once.
I can believe it.
I got really excited, and then realized I didn't remember his real human name and didn't want to say anything. So I'm not gonna be that asshole.
No.
You know.
Hey, what's up? Boom, boom.
Yeah.
How
right?
awful would that be?
Yeah. Oh God. So
thank you for not letting me forget that I did that role 40 years ago.
Right. This can come out whenever need be, but what's coming up for Jimmy Pardo?
Well, speaking of vinyl, we are my latest album, Sprezzatura, is available on vinyl.
Yes.
And then we are re-releasing Pompous Clown, my second CD, which came out in 2005. We're releasing that on colored vinyl in time for Christmas.
Awesome.
So go to a special thing records.com. Hey, Matt. Go to astrecords.com. I've just been told by the president of Special Thing Records. So that's going to be coming out in time for Christmas. And it is it's a fun album. And it's going to be neat to have it on vinyl.
I'm going to have to get it and have you sign it.
We're more than happy to do it. You have Sprezzatura, right?
I don't.
Oh, we'll give you one before you leave.
Well, that's nice of you. I don't, that's very nice of you.
Of course.
I'm very privileged.
My pleasure.
Is that it? That's all that's coming up?
Seems like enough, right?
I guess so. And that comes out when again?
In time for Christmas.
In time for Christmas.
We're told.
You literally just told me that.
Yeah. And then, jimmypardo.com for any live tour dates. And then we're doing a bunch of Never Not Funny live shows around the country coming up. And so you can find that at nevernotfunny.com. And the podcast at Never Not Funny.
Podcastathon's in March.
Podcastathon is in March.
March what?
March 4th.
March 4th.
Where we raise money for Smile Train.
Awesome.
The great organization that goes to the third world countries and provides the surgery to fix cleft palates and cleft lips of kids and families that couldn't otherwise afford it.
Why did I allow you to do that when now I have to push my stuff so I sound like the asshole following the charity? Why did I do that, Jimmy?
You set me up.
I really did. Go to lookingforwardmovie.com. It's a movie I've been doing since March online. You can see it. There's a ton of blogs. It's literally at 10 hours at this point. It'll be cut into something you can actually watch next year. But go there.
Or you can wait and do something for the children.
You could also do that. Thank you guys for listening. Jimmy, thank you for doing this.
My honor.
As always, have a good thing. Comedy on Vinyl is a production of Stolen Dress Entertainment. It is produced by Mike Warden and is hosted and edited by Jason Klamm. Our theme song was composed and performed by Richard Levinson. Please visit stolendress.com to listen to our other podcasts, read our blogs, read our tweets, watch our videos, and read our books. Please subscribe on iTunes, and if you like us, give us a 5-star rating and a nice review. You can find us on facebook.com/comedyonvinyl, Twitter @comedyonvinyl, and find everything else at comedyonvinyl.com. A major portion of Comedy on Vinyl has been underwritten by Stand Up Records. Please visit standuprecords.com for all your comedy needs and tune into the new Stand Up channel available on the Roku, where you can also find select episodes of this podcast.